It's been about a couple of weeks. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much. We're going to talk about Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, also known as KDP. It has been the center of attention in the world of self-publishing since late 2007. Many authors and self-publishers flock to KDP in hopes of fulfilling their dreams of author stardom or self-publishing riches. Let's explore KDP as it stands today in late 2023 and what folks can expect from this platform. Make sure you stay tuned to today's podcast.
Learn how to publish books and build your author business with award-winning author and self-publishing consultant Dale L. Roberts. This is the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by the fine folks over at Dibbly Create. Dibbly Create is my preferred cloud-based writing tool with AI integration. Whether you're looking to pen your next book or get a little help with AI, Dibbly Create has you covered. And the good news is you don't have to be tech savvy to leverage AI. With dozens of pre-made templates and tools, Dibbly Create takes the guesswork out of using AI in a practical and efficient way. For a limited time, you can get 25% off the professional plan of Dibbly Create when you visit my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/DibblyCreate and use the code Black Friday 25. That's capital Black B, capital F Friday, and the number 25. I've put, of course, that link inside the show notes as per usual. If you're cash strapped, by the way, and still want to take Dibbly Create for a spin, you can still get free access, and I highly recommend it. Sure, you're missing some of the features that you get through the professional plan, but that's okay. You're still going to get enough that will make you dangerous. All right, so find out why I really rave about Dibbly Create. Go over to dalelinks.com/DibblyCreate for more details. So let's talk about all things relevant to Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. I like to come back and revisit this from time to time because things do change and they will continue to change. Hence why I started out with saying, hey, this is late 2023, November to be exact. So you're going to probably hear some things that are going to change, I'm sure, in the near future. But I did a little bit of my research ahead of time to make sure that I'm not speaking out my rear end and you guys are getting all the latest information that is available. So let's start out with Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing. It is the self-publishing platform that a lot of authors are using these days. And it does distribute ebooks, print books, and to a certain extent, audiobooks now. Ooh, you didn't know about that? Well, stay tuned. We're going to get to that here. Let's start out with ebooks and focus on what they had started with. That's the reason why they're called Kindle Direct Publishing. They used to just distribute ebooks, but you went into late 2016 is when they took on print books, and then late 2018 is when they took print books away from Create Space and completely over on KDP Print. All right, so that's a little bit of a history lesson there. Let's look at distribution for ebooks. If you're wanting to distribute your ebooks, they reach 13 of the Amazon regions, and only Amazon regions. So in the event that you're wanting to get distribution of your ebook to other platforms, you're going to probably want to look at other avenues besides that and also avoid exclusivity. Now, as far as royalties go, this is where it gets real tricky. So you're going to probably have to just hang in there for just a second here. Ebook royalties are 70% so long as you price it between $2.99 and $9.99. Plus, they have what's called a delivery fee based on the file size and the region in which you distribute it to. So this is something I think a lot of people, unfortunately, always see like, ooh, I've got to go ahead and price it between this range and it's only 70%. Great. No, there is a distribution fee. So if for some reason you have a real heavy file, let's say a ton of graphics and such, that's going to take away from your bottom line. Now, that 70% doesn't include regions of Japan, India, Brazil, or Mexico. More about that in a bit, but for the most part, those four regions are 35% with no delivery fees involved. Now, this is a perfect segue for me to jump right into how there's the 35% royalty. This is for prices outside that range of $2.99 and $9.99. But the cool thing is there's no delivery fees. I know you're taking half as much. So essentially KDP penalizes you if you don't stay inside their preferred price range. I would love to see this go away eventually because other competitors of KDP include Apple, Barnes & Noble Press, Kobo Writing Life, and Google Play Books. They all do 70%, and they don't penalize you for the price that you're doing it at. I hope KDP follows suit one of these days. KDP, I know you're paying attention to me. Come on, make it happen. But the other way that you get 35% and you won't get 70% is if you plan to publish public domain work. So if for some reason you're like, ooh, I want to go and do public domain works, unfortunately, it will never be 70%. It will always be 35%. So there is no ability to increase that royalty rate because, well, you're leveraging somebody else's content. And not to mention for public domain works published through KDP, they want to have some type of a deviation, some type of a change in things, pretty much where you're leveraging fair use. So meaning that you have something transformative to add to that public domain work in order to distribute to that, because they already have all of the public domain stuff that they could possibly want. So you need to come to the table with something new. It could probably be, I don't know, Think and Grow Rich, the first iteration of that as a graphic novel. I don't know that you would want to do that, but you get the idea. Now, let's address KDP Select, because this is an ebook 90-day exclusivity program that places your publication into lending programs like Kindle Unlimited or Prime Reading. Now, that is an exclusivity program, meaning that if you take that ebook and you put it into that program, you can't place it anywhere else off of Amazon. So in the event that you want to get your book into libraries, forget about it. You won't be able to do it if you're in KDP Select. Now, you get paid per page read based largely on what's called the KDP Select Global Fund every month. Now, this is essentially a giant pool of all the subscribers' money that they're putting in every month. I think in September, it was $51.5 million. It's a lot of money. But the issue is with this, so many things. First of all, the first issue is you can't publish your book anywhere else during your 90-day agreement. Now, it will automatically renew if you don't deselect that inside your dashboard. So I might be saying 90-day agreement, and you probably like, oh no, Dale, I did 92 days and it's continued to go. Well, you have to deselect because otherwise it auto renews as soon as you opt into that. You can publish the print books and audiobook version of each of those ebooks with no issue. It just affects exclusivity of your enrolled ebook, not the print book or the audiobook. That is the most common misunderstanding I hear a lot from other people. And not to mention, that ebook will not affect any of the other ebooks that are inside your KDP dashboard. So I can take book 1, enroll it in KDP Select, and I can take books 2, 3, and 4 and not enroll in KDP Select. And it won't affect that. I can still distribute those other ones. Just book 1 can't go anywhere else as a digital copy. I can't even put it through my own website. I mean, I can do 10%, but beyond that, I can't sell the entire book because it's supposed to remain exclusive. And the other big issue is historically, you're paid less than half a cent per page read. Yeah, in fact, actually, I think the last I heard it was 0.0041. Yeah, do the math on that. Figure out how many pages your current ebook is, and then you'll kind of see, ooh. And by the way, there's little sign of that improving. Not to mention another feature rolling out in KDP could eat more of the subscription pool, causing the per page read to dwindle more. Now, I'm going to discuss that here in just a little bit here because it's in another couple of items that affects the KDP Select Global Fund. Easy for me to say, right? Now, they do have what I call the unfair advantage. When you do enroll your ebook in KDP Select, it does allow you many other opportunities. And one of those opportunities is anytime someone checks out your book, whether through Kindle Unlimited or through the Prime Reading program, it affects the Amazon bestseller rank as if it had made a sale. I know it's crazy, right? You can actually become an Amazon bestseller simply without making a single, sale. You can literally just have tons of checkouts, and I've known numerous authors that have had that. It is quite the unfair advantage, and they know it. I've always kind of balked at that, but that's just my opinion. I think that they should separate that ranking to something completely different. So anything that's under Kindle Unlimited, it would be a completely different ABSR. But I don't know the inner workings of things like that. And I don't know what it would take to, put all that stuff together. Now, there are other marketing opportunities you can get through the 5-day free book promotion as well as 7-day Kindle Countdown deal. So first of all, this is a common question I get. Why would you want to make your ebook free? One, it will bolster your reviews, because if you get a ton of people getting your books all at the same time, upwards of thousands or tens of thousands, if you do a really good book promotion, you're going to definitely get some reviews. And getting that social proof is going to make a huge difference, and it will help and convert sales on your product page, which of course drives up relevance and of course will start to serve your book out to other people that would be interested in your book. The other reason would be, of course, that you would want to see some type of a buy through. So let's say, for instance, you have a series of books or a backlog of books. By making this one available for free, you would hopefully see a buy through, meaning that, let's say someone puts a free book promotion for book 1 in a series of 6. If you've got a great conversion rate of someone reading book 1 to book 2 to 2 to 3 to 3 to 4 and so on, this is a good gamble to make. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a loss leader, but it will pay off if your conversion rate is really good between each one of your books. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that if you do lean on a 5-day free book promotion, that within the book that you have some type of a call to action, whether in the front or preferably the back. You would say, hey, make sure that you check out XYZ book. So get it to where you're hooking them for the other books. You don't want to just rely on them to try to find it on their own, because chances are very likely, unless they really, really, really enjoyed your book, they may just kind of be like, it's whatever. So make sure that you put that call to action within your book, that you do have additional books within your backlog or within a series. Now, as far as the 7-day Kindle Countdown deal, that's only available for the US and UK. What it does is you can set a price promotion for 7 days at a time, and you can break it down to a number of increments. So let's say your book is $9.99. You mark it down to 99 cents for the first 2 days. And then maybe the next few days, you bring it up to $1.99 and you do it up to $2.99 until eventually, after the 7-day promotion is done, it goes to full value. Now, the nice thing is there's actually a nice little countdown clock that appears on your product page when you do run a 7-day Kindle Countdown deal. And you also get featured in a very special category for Kindle Countdown deals, especially something that would be niche relevant to you. Now, one or the other, you can be able to select for your marketing tools. So you can do the 5-day free book promotion, or you can do the 7-day Kindle Countdown deal within a 90-day agreement. Either one. You can't do both in the same 90-day period. It's just not possible. I've got my big hangups when it comes to the 7-day Kindle Countdown deal, because it is only US and UK. So this means that you run into the issues of communicating that with people, and anybody outside those regions, they're kind of left with no other options. So it kind of stings a little bit, but it is what it is. Let's transition over to print books and talk a little bit more about paperbacks and hardcovers. Now, paperback had actually come and started on KDP in late 2016. And as I'd mentioned earlier in the broadcast, it had transitioned to fully supported and Create Space merged with KDP print in late 2018. That was December 2018 to be exact. And boy, that was just a crazy story in itself. Now, paperback, they offer 16 trim sizes with a minimum to maximum page count of around 24 to 828, though that varies based on the type of book printed. So you need to kind of make sure you do your due diligence before you decide to go with paperbacks. Now, the paper types that you get are white paper, which is available in 50 to 61 pound paper, cream paper in the same poundage, standard color on white paper, which is 50 to 61 pounds, and premium color on white paper, which is thicker at 60 to 71 pounds. Now, for hardcovers, you only have 5 trim sizes with a minimum to maximum page count around 75 to 550. Now, paper types include white paper and cream paper, it's same 50 to 61 pound, and premium color on white paper, which is 60 to 71 pound. Now, there's no standard color option for hardcover books right now. I'm sure in due time, hardcover is probably going to have more trim sizes and availability and distribution, but for right now, it is fairly limited. Now, when it comes to royalties and distribution, paperbacks reach 12 Amazon regions plus expanded distribution. More about that in a second here. And the paperback royalty is 60% minus the print fees. So this means if your base cost is, say, $3.99, this is how much it costs for them to print your book, and you price it at $9.99, you're going to get that little range, let's say the $6, that you get 60% of that right there, and that's what you get paid for. So it's going to vary based on the type of book that you're selecting and based on how much you charge for it. Now, expanded distribution, I briefly touched about this, but let's go ahead and discuss it a little bit more. You get 40% minus the print fees. So that's 20% less than any of the Amazon regions that you'd be distributing to. Now, expanded distribution reaches a much wider audience. Now, the ones that handle this is Ingram Book Group. They do expanded distribution, but only for the US and UK fulfillment. This is crazy because back in the day, CreateSpace hit all of Ingram Book Group's reach. And now when it got transitioned over, it remained US and UK. And to be honest with you, it was probably earlier this year, one of my followers actually had pointed out, be like, this is only US and UK. I'm like, it is? And I'm like, look, I was like, you're right. Actually, it is US and UK fulfillment. It's goofy. If you want to leverage more of Ingram's reach, which is massive, that's 40,000 plus, retailers and libraries and institutions, go right to their source. Places like Ingram Spark. You'll get better royalties and control over your metadata too. This is big because there's so much more to doing your metadata that would honor other platforms beyond Amazon. Now, when it comes to hardcover, you've got about 10 regions plus one additional that's not listed. So if you list on Amazon.com, the US, it'll automatically put you into Amazon Canada. I know it's kind of weird. Why don't they just do that? I don't know. At any rate, though, hardcover is 60% minus print fees. You will find hardcovers, the base cost is considerably more than print books for obvious reasons. Now, they do not have expanded distribution whatsoever. Again, you want to get something like that, go right to the source. Ingram Spark has a ton of options when it comes to hardcover books. So now this goes into something that had just came across my plate not too long ago. In fact, this one blew my mind. They're planning to distribute audiobooks. Now, not much is known about it beyond what they pretty much shared on their help page. And that's, it's available in beta access, but invite only. And you would have to have your ebook available for distribution through their platform in order to actually take advantage of something like this. They distribute to Audible and Amazon. And I think the price range was $3.99 and $14.99. And you would end up getting 40% royalty on that, which is not too bad. They offer AI narration as an option, which is a head scratcher because Audiobook Creation Exchange, the sister company of KDP, they don't want you to put artificial intelligence narrated books onto their platform. So this is it's a head scratcher. Like, what are they doing? I heard a good friend of mine, Tina Dietz, big shout out to Tina. She has been on the podcast before, where she believes that this is a way for Amazon to circumvent SAG-AFTRA agreements that they've done through ACX, because in ACX, apparently that was put in place to honor those narrators that are part of the SAG-AFTRA organization. Wow, I wouldn't be surprised if that's their way of trying to get past the rules. This definitely contradicts ACX's policies. Now, this is the part that really concerns me the most, is the fact that they say that it's going to dip into the KDP Select Global Fund. This is a problem because right now you're getting paid less than 0.5 cents per page read. And I'm hearing that, it's been like this for years, because when they had actually implemented the current pages read model, which is called KENPC, Kindle Edition Normalized Page Count. That was back in July of 2015. Back then, it was half a cent. Everybody can agree that inflation happens. And so that was 2015, 8 years ago. And we're still getting paid the same amount, and they've already jacked up the prices for people that are subscribing to Kindle Unlimited. So we're getting this small pittance, and now we're led to believe that it's going to dip into the KDP Select Global Fund. This is a little concerning. There's still little known about the audiobook publishing via KDP, so stay tuned for all the relevant updates and news surrounding it. I just honestly, I'm a little bit I'm excited about it, but I'm also concerned about it because we don't really know too much. And obviously, some people will fear the unknown. Let's transition over to other parts of KDP that are noteworthy. The reports dashboard. Now, recently, they saw an update and a complete overhaul of their reports dashboard. This is where you get to see all the sales and any of the regions that they were done in, on the date that they were done, the way that it was fulfilled, whether ebook, print book, or whatnot. Originally, the update was a bit wonky. It actually has been like that for a few years, but they did a complete overhaul and it's working so much faster. Sure, it has some features I'd like to see on it, but overall, it's pretty decent. Now, the old reports dashboard was supposed to be taken away by the time of this recording, but they've postponed that indefinitely. In fact, the KDP team reached out to me specifically and said, hey, let everybody know we're not taking away the old reports dashboard away, and we don't know when that will be removed. So chances are very likely they're probably getting a little bit overloaded with it being Q4, the latter portion of the year, and they probably have some other things to handle. So chances are very likely removing that part of the dashboard just won't make too much sense. I'm sure going into 2024, maybe that will probably change. Now, the marketing tab is something else to take note of. And this is somewhere I see a lot of authors that are missing this huge opportunity because you find Author Central integration, which means that you have an author profile available over on Amazon. You could still set up Author Central away from KDP. In fact, they kind of function separate anyways, but you can still get into Author Central by way of your dashboard to make things a little bit easier. A+ content is another thing as well. This is relatively new over the past couple of years. You can actually put a from the publisher section on your product page with images and any type of text. A+ content is a great way to leverage search engine optimization. So that way you increase discoverability on your platform by using images with keywords in them, as well as text with keywords in them. That's the big key there, folks. And then of course, Amazon advertising is another part of a marketing dashboard where you can be able to access an Amazon ads dashboard for various regions to advertise your book. One other thing, and I didn't have this in my notes, and I think it's pertinent that we go ahead and mention this, is you do have the option to nominate your ebooks for two types of programs in Prime Reading as well as, Kindle Reads or something like that. Either way, you can enroll that or nominate that for their particular programs. And if Amazon decides they want to select you for a special promotion, they'll have the book to do just that. All right. Let's move forward to the community tab. Oh my gosh, let me tell you, let's do the good and the bad so that way it's super easy for you guys to understand. The community tab is their way of doing the forum, and it got a big overhaul more recently. It's a lot cleaner. It's easier to navigate. It is good for when you want to get frequent updates because they do post a lot of their information over on the community tab. The bad news is you're going to have to go into that tab on a regular basis to see those updates, and there are some real jerks that are hanging out there. There's some people that don't have patience, that for some reason they don't feel like they've ever been a newbie and they feel like they're just self-righteous. I don't like those people that can't have the patience to answer in a not so condescending way. And that's where I've just seen this happen. It's dumpster fire after dumpster fire. This is a conversation I had shared with the KDP team and they understood where I was coming from. And so there's got to be some more moderation on that platform because again, it's not very welcoming when you have someone just being an out-and-out jerk to you over on their forum. All right, what about payments? They do your payments 60 days after the close of a month. Now, that doesn't include expanded distribution because typically that aggregates back every 90 days, if I can recall. The payment options that you have available are direct deposit. So if you got a bank account, you can get the ACH done for that. Wire transfer or check. Now, if you're outside of the Amazon regions, lean on services like Payoneer if your bank is not available to KDP. Yes, you get fees removed if you're using something like Payoneer, but it's better than nothing, right? So let's go over the pros and cons of publishing on Amazon KDP. And I've got a few for each one of these. I could probably do an entire 2-hour broadcast just covering some of this stuff. Number one, the pros is it's the path of least resistance to publish on Amazon. I mean, it is super simple. There is so many tutorials out there that it's just, how could you not know how to do it? In fact, number two, they also have a competitive royalty structure. Yeah, I could kind of poo-poo all over the fact that they do the 70% unless you do the pricing between $2.99 and $9.99, but it's still a pretty competitive royalty structure. If you want to get something better, you probably want to consider other avenues, including direct sales. And then number three, there is loads of information about how to leverage KDP. In fact, KDP actually has a KDP University as well as KDP Jumpstart, which is a full course that's 100% free, showing you exactly how to leverage their platform. That's pretty cool. Now, the cons of them include, number one, their account terminations and suspensions. It's out of hand. It's crazy. I've been around this business for a while, and I've even suffered a suspension of my own, and it was justified, to be honest with you. And it is just a messy system. I really think that they need to have something much better in place for account holders that have been recently suspended or terminated to communicate with the KDP team. And the innocent or the guilty till proven innocent philosophy that they carry is just, it's demoralizing and it makes you feel less valued. KDP, if you want your account holders to make you, if you want them to believe that you're the go-to resource, put something in place for terminations and suspensions for people to communicate with you, because the way it's going right now, that sucks. Number two, there's no real reach beyond Amazon, excluding, of course, expanded distribution. Now, some people will make the argument, why do you want to publish anywhere beyond Amazon? Because there are a lot more readers beyond Amazon's platform. In fact, there are some readers who don't even use Amazon because they don't like it or it's not available in their region. So it's just crazy to not make it available beyond Amazon. So if you want to get beyond Amazon, yeah. And also let's address the fact expanded distribution is only US and UK. Come on. Give us all of Ingram Book Group's wide reach instead of just two of their avenues. That makes no sense. You might as well go direct to the source for more royalties, by the way. More control, more distribution beyond the US and UK. Again, you can go to Ingram Spark. Drafted Digital is another avenue you can lean on. Lulu's another one. Those are other avenues that will get you beyond just Amazon. Now, number three, they have limited hardcover print options with erratic print quality. Not to mention, you don't have dust jackets as an option, and hardcover books do not reach expanded distribution. But I already kind of crapped all over expanded distribution, so does it really even matter? Probably not. Hey, just a real quick big shout out and special thanks to my sponsors, Dibbly Create. Want a great way to support this podcast and further your self-publishing efforts at the same time? Get free or premium access when you visit my affiliate link at dalelinks.com/DibblyCreate. Again, one of the greatest ways to help support this podcast is by supporting the sponsors, because they do put in their money and their investment and I don't just pick any old sponsor. Dibbly Create is truly a platform that I currently use. Some people are like, do you just use that strictly? I'm like, yeah, actually, it's really quite nice. Now, my final thoughts. Amazon KDP is not the perfect solution for everyone. It really isn't. I recommend taking it for a spin if you haven't already. Take your time and explore all the options they have available. Should you ever get lost, feel free to join my Discord community at dalelinks.com/Discord. There's so many helpful people in there, and I'm hanging out there on a daily basis. I'm usually not there on weekends. I'll pop in every now and then. But speaking of popping in every now and then, this next week, we're going to be talking about Amazon KDP's features you've been missing. Yeah, there's some that you've been missing. Some of them we didn't even discuss today. Till later, this has been Self-Publishing with Dale, and I will catch you in next week's podcast.
You've been listening to the Self-Publishing with Dale podcast. Visit us at selfpublishingwithdale.com for more information on how you can level up your self-publishing business. Also, check out our growing video-on-demand service, chock full of free and premium content, when you head over to theselfpublishinghub.com. If you enjoyed the show, please consider leaving a review on your preferred podcasting platform. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode.